what if there's a draft? If there's a draft, right, for you to have to join the army, the
Oh,
Canadian Armed
I was wondering what
Forces,
kind of draft you were talking about. Okay, okay.
to join the Canadian Armed Forces to
The
go and
Canadian Armed Forces. Okay,
to go and defend Ukraine.
to
Are
go
you
and defend Ukraine. Okay.
are you signing up?
Oh, it's my choice.
Well, I mean,
Okay,
you have option. I mean, if there's a draft, you kind of have to go, but
right, because the
like,
draft is like yeah, exactly, right. So
but I
do
mean, like, there's other ways around it, isn't there?
Yeah, and here's the thing. Here's the thing, because I was about to say my answer is the same in both cases, right? My answer remains the same either way, whether it's mandatory or it's optional. The optional just makes it easier for me to say no. That's all
Yeah.
it is, right? See, if it's a draft and it's mandatory, well, then unfortunately, two guys podcast is now one guy's podcast and one outcast
Yo,
because
I
you not go and find me. I'm
let me
gonna have
tell
to
you something.
reroute my rerouter to route somewhere else before
I'm
we do
going to
this.
jail. I'm going to jail. I'm not fighting that war. I'm going to jail.
I'm not going to jail either. I'm disappearing. I'm gone.
Oh,
I'm
you're
gone, bro.
vanishing.
I don't have millions of dollars to do the millions of dollars things. But listen, I know how to survive. I've camped. Okay. I've camped before, and I'm not talking about glamping. I'm talking about camping. You know what I mean? Dig a
Mm,
hole. Dig a hole. Use the leaves. You know what I'm talking about if you're a real camper. I've never done either of those things. That's disgusting. Don't do
bro,
that. You could get various things, including poison ivy.
bro. Putin said if anybody tries to interfere, pew, the man
Yeah.
has 6,000 nuclear weapons, man.
Yeah.
6,000. He has the biggest in the world.
You know what's funny is that neither one of us sitting here is Ukrainian or Russian, right? So obviously, I want everybody to hear what I'm saying when I say that first, because
I mean, I think they
we
would.
we're no, but you never know. You never know nowadays. We could be mixed. I'm gonna do my ancestry and watch. There's gonna be like a 0.3% somewhere. But anyways, the point that I'm trying to make is, from what I understand of what's going on right now, is this Putin is putting it forth as he is trying to protect the citizens of Russia and, in his own words, denazify the Ukraine. Okay, so that's his words. What I've read into this is it sounds like that the Ukraine and Putin used to be dating, right? Ukraine said, you know what? I'm not feeling the way you're treating me. I'm going to leave. I'm going to separate myself from you. Putin was mad. He gets angry about that. And then he comes to find out that his ex, the Ukraine, is now seeking out new relationships with NATO and with the European Union, right? And he's mad because he knows that if Ukraine starts dating NATO, NATO comes with an army, right? NATO is an army of nations. In case anybody doesn't know, their one motto when it comes to war is this, and it's very simple. If you attack one of us, you attack all of us. And two of the countries of notoriety that people will recognize when I say that are part of NATO are Canada and the US. So when you ask why they don't get involved in this situation, as far as sending troops down there, it's because they can't. They got to sit back, right? So that's why they do all these sanctions instead, to try to monetarily punish the country instead. But anyways, Ukraine is trying to get with these new people, NATO and the European Union. Putin doesn't like that. So now he tries to make his ex look like they're something that they're not to everybody else.
Well, I'll tell you this. Um, I seen some of the footage and the places that they're attacking. Guy, they have like 3 million population of three. They're attacking places with severe. They're giving them rifles to defend themselves.
Yeah.
The president of the Ukraine, men ages 18 to 60, you can't leave the country because we might need you to fight. They can't
Right.
even leave. What I do for a living, a person who has money over there drained his bank accounts immediately, and he's like, I'm paying off everything I owe just in case I can never get my money back.
Right. Right.
Like, the situation is real. So I bring this up because look, Putin,
All of this simply because Ukraine wanted to separate and
do their own thing.
join something that
Do
Putin
their own
didn't want.
thing. Do their own thing. Look,
Pretty much what
but
this sounds like to me.
here's the thing. Here's the thing. Putin says this is, if you want to use the relationship analogy, this is my ex. This is between me and her. your nosy friend who talks a lot, your nosy friend who's never even been in a relationship, stay out of our business.
Right.
Now, when you think of it as a relationship with two people, you're like, yeah, leave them alone. This is their business. Why are you guys interfering? But when you think of it as two countries, millions of people that could die, but then the aggressor is saying, bro, if you jump in, I'm fucking you up too. Do you jump in?
But
Does Canada jump in? Does
but
the
that's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying to you. They can't. They can't because Canada is part of NATO. So in
talking
order for
about
them to
the sanctions, do you just stay out of it?
Oh,
Period.
well, Canada's already imposed sanctions on
I
Russia.
know, I know. What I'm trying to figure out is that a good thing? Like, would you do that?
I mean, that's all they can do, and that's that. Yes, I would do that. That's
Okay,
all they can do
okay.
because what's Russia going to do? Attack Canada? That's not going to happen because, like I said, they're part of NATO. So once they attack Canada, now they have Canada, the states. I believe the UK is also part of NATO as well, or the UK might actually be part of the European Union. I'm not sure. I get it mixed
Okay,
up. But anyways,
but you have to remember when you say can they attack Canada? So when you say can they attack, Russia's not flying people over here to shoot the CN Tower down, bro. Like
right,
when you say attack Canada, their attack is a nuclear strike. And the whole motto between using nuclear weapons is no one can win a nuclear war because if
right,
you shoot, we shoot. That
right,
means they shoot. So everyone loses. So when you
right.
say attack, it's not like it's dropping a nuclear bomb. That's
Well,
what Russia's talking about.
worst case scenario, Putin drops one bomb somewhere. Putin drops a nuclear bomb somewhere. Then he has all of the other countries that are part of this agreement coming back at that one nation with all of their force. It's not something that you want.
Right. So everyone dies.
It's not a risk that anybody would be willing to take.
Okay,
is what I'm saying.
boom.
Risk reward.
Stay right there.
Why would Putin sit there and do that? That would just be
right there.
He's gonna attack. He's obviously gonna attack somebody weaker than him.
Stay right there, so.
Okay, I'm right here.
Everyone is saying, is he crazy enough to do that? Because if he does this, that's all his people gone too. So is he like, is his ego that big where his ego is like, hey man, I don't give a S. I'm doing this and I'm willing to sacrifice all of my people if you guys try to interfere. Because that's what people are saying.
No, because if there's one thing that I know Putin loves, it's power. And in order to maintain his power, he needs people. He needs the people to hold power over. Because if you don't have no people to hold power over, then where's the power coming from? Who's he going to control and command now once he has no people left? He's going to be an outcast. He's going to have to dig himself into a hole like Bin Laden.
So what if Canada, America, all these people in NATO decide to send armed forces to fight?
I honestly don't see that happening. But let's say hypothetically.
So no. But I need to answer that. So why don't you see that happening? Because again, it goes back to the same analogy you just used with the relationship. So we're just gonna let Putin just slaughter millions of people?
Because the evidence is in the cake, man. It's in the cake, man. And the icing is that NATO has been trying to join. I mean, Ukraine has been trying to join NATO for a while, a long time, since they've been separate. And NATO just hasn't let them eat at that table. And there's been a reason for that. There's a reason why they won't let them eat in there. So if they weren't willing to let them join into this agreement with the rest of them for that protection for their sovereignty, why do you think they would go out of their way to send military troops and risk their own people for a country then? When all they could have done was say, yo, come join our crew. You know what I'm saying? They're not going to make that decision. Like, it's sad to see what's happening.
I understand what you're saying.
It is sad to see what's happening. I understand where you're coming from, but ultimately, and I'm sure there's people who think that like that too. exactly what you just said. Why doesn't Canada send troops down? And that's the exact reason. It's just it doesn't
I'm
make
not
any sense.
saying that they should. It's a question. I'm saying
No, I said no. I'm saying people say why shouldn't they?
okay.
Like
Yeah.
why aren't they sending people? That's the question people have. Why isn't Canada sending troops over there? Right? That's the question people have. Some people do have that question, and that's the answer. Ladies and gentlemen, fortunately, politics do come into play in this one. And if Canada was to do that, it would go against the agreement that they have with the rest of the people in NATO, which would get us kicked from that. And now it's us and the Ukraine against Russia. No, we're not going to do that. It's
Well,
never going to happen politically.
Putin, he had a meeting, it might have been today or yesterday, with all like the tapas in Russia. So I'm talking about the people who handle like the natural gas and just like the people who more or less run that country, pretty much.
Mm-hmm.
And they were like, bro, we're getting shanked by sanctions. That's a little bit of a tongue twister there. And Putin tried to reassure them, like, nah, man, don't worry. This is going to be good in the long run. It'll sting for a little bit, but it'll be good in the long run. Fast forward now, because like you said, everybody's putting all these. Now it doesn't look so good. So they are starting to feel the sanctions, the shanking of the sanctions.
Yeah.
So I'm wondering,
monetarily, man, if you can crush somebody monetarily and they don't have the resources to put into funding all these soldiers and all these weapons and everything that they're putting forth, they're going to have to cut back somewhere.
So what now?
Slowly going to diminish.
So what now? So they just withdraw their troops. They just leave the Ukraine. They ain't doing that.
I mean, it's a slow process. This way that they're doing it with the sanctions is definitely a slower process. But Putin is absolutely crazy to think that in the long term this is going to work out better for him, because the longer this goes on, the less money he's going to have to put forth towards this. And that's ultimately what everybody's trying to do,
bro. And crazy is the word.
Food, trade, energy, oil, all of these things have to be concerns for this one nation coming from the rest of the world, because
yeah, but
of
you're
what's
acting
going
like
on.
you're acting like I don't want to speak out of turn, but some people believe that Putin, all these things that you're talking about, the Russians could suffer.
He doesn't care about it.
Putin ain't gonna suffer.
Right.
It's just like the dictator from North Korea.
But like I said, the one thing that will hold Putin to protect people is his own ego, and the fact that he needs people to control over in order to maintain that power. That is what I believe will hold him to the people. Not all of them. Do I believe that he's willing to sacrifice a shit ton of people? I do.
All right. Well,
but
look,
he still needs people.
What I know is that here in Ontario, some of the liberals are saying, look, let's get these Russian vodkas off the shelves in the LCBO.
That's what Canada's doing. That's how we're fighting.
Fight the
That's
power.
the hashtag. That's the hashtag.
Fight the power.
No hashtag. No Russian vodka.
No Russian vodka.
No Russian vodka.
Look, man. Viewing public. All jokes aside, what are your thoughts on this? Obviously, we know it's sad when innocent people are getting hit. Period. Any situation. So we know it's sad. But do you think that Canadians, Americans, should do more? If we could do more, or are the shanking with the sanctions enough? I want you guys to also try to say that 3 times fast. Very hard. Thank you. Anyways, leave it in the comments. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Yeah, man. Scary times. Okay.